and good morning, everybody. I just wanted to go ahead and record a little bit, talk to you today about Dead Linger stuff. So this was actually a good request. I thought I would go ahead and do this. I'm going to just slightly change format to the Road to the Apocalypse. Road to the Apocalypse before really focused on the roadmap for the game. And since we've already gone through and talked our way through the roadmap, the suggestion was, why don't we start talking about the Reddit community here for the Dead Linger, which is actually pretty cool because I've tried to tweet out and share tweets and stuff with the team, but I don't ever seem to really get a whole lot of response. Not saying they don't read this stuff, but I don't feel like it's as interactive with the community as I would like, because I see lots of tweets and stuff going on, and I don't know, it seems hit and miss to try and really tweet out to them. But the Reddit, though, not that the Reddit has a huge following, if you want to get a response from the developers, it seems like they really, really follow up on their Reddit. So that might be where I start to go and post my thoughts and ideas. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Boom. Now, normally, when I do a Reddit, I'm kind of going to do this almost like a podcast format now, just like I do the Ground Zero for H1Z1. So I'm just going to take a look at some stuff. Now, before, when I was doing this, I didn't want to share like names and things like that, but honestly, since this is just the Reddit and everything's public, it's not like I'm hiding or hurting anybody, and if they didn't want their handle publicly used in the world, they wouldn't be posting publicly in the world. Anyway, so let's go and take a look at some cool stuff I found here on the Reddit that I want to share with, first of all, before I'm not going to do all of Reddit in one day, but let's take a look at this. The first thing, they had stickied at the very top, which I thought was very cool. My wife's playing with the dog. I don't know if you can hear the dog. He's playing rope. Anyway, let's take a look at this Build 14 mega thread. Now, this was put out by 2 Infinite, and I think he did the Build 13 one as well. Basically, what he's done, and I think is cool, is he's putting together a mega thread where just about anything related post-wise from Richard Keene or Jeff Keene about game updates that they put on like the main page, and even maybe some cool stuff from their specific Twitter accounts, he's putting up here. So this goes all the way back to March 27th. So Richard Keene, he's the lead programmer. So complete redesign and code of content generation. So all those things that we talk about on the Twitter reviews, they're putting out here in one collected spot. So I think that's a very cool thing, that a person can come back and do a quick skim through and see exactly what kinds of plans they have in place for the game. And also down here under Jeff Keene, it's posted a lot of the pictures too. So you want to see a speed tree preview? Great, just click the link and there it is. So it's a great rundown memory lane. Let's come on back. Oh, maybe I can just hit back. So I think that's very, very cool. And then some useful links here. So the Build 14 official thread, bug reporting, so on and so forth. So this is actually a really good introduction to the Reddit, and a pretty good idea to let you know what's expected to come out in Build 14. So come check that out, read it out. It's really good. The other one I came in and looked at was some concerns from a longtime fan. This, I thought, was a very good post that needed to come out from the team. And the reason why I say from the team is because it's got multiple people from the team commenting on it. Essentially, the concern was, hey, the Kickstarter launched back in 2012, and this person here says, however, the Kickstarter money only lasted about a year, so approximately July of 2013, question mark. Trying to guesstimate when that Kickstarter money should have run out. Will this game ever be finished, or will it be like Towns? I've never looked into Towns, but apparently that must have been a ghost game. So don't get me wrong, I'm not hating. I love this game and I really want to see it released. But basically, when can we expect some progress on this thing? And to be quite honest, that's a question I've asked. Now, the thing is, with an indie game company like this that does not have the large resources of, say, Sony, They don't have multiple lead programmers because when you watch the behind the scenes H1Z1 12-hour broadcast, and they're talking to the devs, there's pretty much a lead programmer for multiple systems going on. So you had, you know, several people working on animation, several. You had one guy who was showing off his wolves and his dancing deer, and then another guy was showing off like how he was working on punching animations and things like that. So they don't have that with the Dead Linger. Now they have a dedicated team of folks that work on the game, but I don't think they quite have the resources that like a big company Sony has. You go back and you watch that dev, they had like several engineers who worked on this, that, and the other thing, and this guy's dedicated to placing items in the world, this guy's dedicated to this, so on and so forth. That's going to churn out content a lot more quickly. Now, unfortunately, when you take the indie game like this and you go and you look and they see have like one lead programmer, there's another environmentalist or lead environment artist. So I know there's at least two folks who have very specific jobs in creating content for the Dead Linker. That's a far cry from a large resource company. So it is going to take them time. And that's the only thing that really kind of sucks. You have a lot of fans who are really interested in seeing the game progress and succeed and come out. And so that's almost like a double-edged sword there. You've got folks who are so supportive of the game and wanting to see it come out that 2 months between updates is a really long time, and we're that excited to see the new stuff come out. If the game was just a meh and a War Z, nobody would care. It'd be like, we're done. We'll move on to different things. But it's not that way at all. So, that's a valid question is, hey, what's going on? Why is this taking so long? All right, so we got good responses. And I'm not going to read every single response because I got some criticisms there too. I know I'm feeling negative today. All right, so here we got Chaos86, lead environment artist for Sandswept. Chimed in, just said, hey, there's a lot of stuff they're working on. And he says himself that he's working on at least 6 different things that will vastly improve the world and gameplay as a whole. He was a big fan before he was hired and shared similar views. However, I know firsthand now how hard software development can be and how long it can really take from past jobs that he's had. And again, that's the thing is, since none of us worked there at Sandswept, we just don't know what exactly is involved from a small development team to put something like this together. And I appreciate the hints and the screenshots and things they put out to kind of let us know what they're working on, but they can't share everything, and everything that they're working on isn't necessarily something that's going to be in the very next build. They have a roadmap that they're following, and there's things that probably take time to code and optimize and compile and this, that, and the other thing that might not be ready for the next build, but he's got time to work on that, and he's got some pictures here. Now, I am going to say, though, that the big disappointing thing is, what are they showing for the upcoming build? Trees. Like, that's every time I turn around is they're trying to show trees. And again, I'm thinking, my goodness, we've waited this long for some kind of, meaningful content update, and what we're getting is trees. And the build is supposed to be, some big graphical overhaul. It seems like it's going to be the tree patch. I'm sure trees are a huge optimization thing, has a huge impact on lag and memory and this, that, and the other thing, and really will help to the overall look of the game, giving it that, things are overcoming the world. But my gosh, even just here, trees and some roads and a new tree close-up. I don't care if it's new-looking roads. We just want roads that fit on the ground proper and don't shoot up into the air 90 degrees. trees are cool as long as they don't, do the storybook pop-ups every time you rotate your camera up and down, So, but again, that's all part of the programming, because trees have been such a sore point for so long for folks. It's nice now that they're going to put trees in that work, and they actually have time to dedicate to getting the trees right. Now, we still don't know everything that's coming out for Build 14, but I certainly hope it's more than just some roads and some trees that we've waited 2 months for. All right, so anyhow, this has got some good pipe ins from Zag, who I believe that's Jeff Keen. I think San Zag is his nickname on here. And he chimed in. He put, "There's no plans to stop, and financials are stable, so the game is going good." And then Richard Keen, he says, "Current effort for me is 7 days a week full time. The difference with TDL is that we are doing an infinite procedural world. That alone adds a year to development. I can give a more detailed explanation as to why. We are going to do a Design of the Dead presentation soon. We are not just making a first-person shooter. We are inventing how to do an infinite world in a non-infinite game engine." Now, see, that's a very cool insight, because I've not really seen, I'm not saying it's the only one, but yeah, there's not a whole lot of Unity-based games that do procedurally infinitely generated worlds. And the thing that makes that cool, you see it in games like Minecraft and stuff. You pop in and boom, there's like this huge new random world that you can play on. But I think it works for a game like this, I like having that randomness to it, and I'll tell you why I think that's cool, and why, sadly it's going to take time, but why I think it works for this game, or a game like this. A lot of times you can go and you can watch Breaking Point, DayZ, Standalone, different things like that, and people memorize the map. And there you go. They know where to go. They know where to go find loot. They know where to go set ambushes. And before you know it, there's no mystery. The game is just nothing secret to find. Everybody knows the good places to go. So there's no mystery. There's no exploration really needed anymore, because you know where to go. And then, well, my wife said it's a problem with EverQuest. But that's a problem with just about any static game, is once you've learned the map, you know where to go, you know where to get your stuff, you know where to farm equipment, you know where to go hunt noobs and kill this, that, and the other thing to get this particular drop. There's no more mystery. Game solved. And once you gather yourself up a gun, some food, and some water, you've won the game. But with a procedurally generated world where it's random every time you pop in, not that your save game is random every time, but that seed, every time you go and visit that seed, though, it is static, so that's a good thing. But, you can't just memorize the world and then know where everything's at. I mean, obviously, you're going to start to learn your area, but that's the thing, is it's a learning experience at that point. Every time you pop into a new seed, it's a new experience. You have to learn how to navigate that world, and you're going to have to learn how to go find where the good loot is. Where's that military base? Where's that hospital? And once you have those learned, then you can start setting up ambushes and stuff like that. But that's something you have to learn. And then if you get bored with that experience, pop on into a new seed, and it's an entirely new game again. When I play the game and I've got, a good 60 episodes in, and that doesn't even count all the playtime I do just on my own, a lot of times I just start a new game all over to start from scratch, to experience that sense of wonder all over again. What am I going to find when I run in this random direction? And that keeps the game fresh, quite honestly, especially with the Dead Linger, because of this slow development cycle that they're talking about. Sometimes you have to kind of come up with your own content. You can't make stuff and put it into the game. I don't mean like that, but sometimes you got to come up with your own adventures and your own reasons to continue playing. And sometimes that just means deleting a current game you have, and then start a brand new seed, start from scratch, and then explore the world all over again, trying to build yourself back up. And fortunately, you can do it. It's not super difficult, but that does keep the game going for me. So this particular Reddit here, I thought was outstanding to hear from them, to know that they're still passionate, that they're working on the game, and there's hope that we're going to get another update. But just like our friend Lunas Games put out, hopefully this 2 months wait is not going to give us 5 minutes of content to talk about and then wait another 2 months for another 5 minutes of new content. We have some pretty high expectations at this point because it is taking them so long to come out with stuff. So, yep, still a critic, but still a fan. And only a critic because I'm really excited and looking forward to what they have coming out. This here, going to do a Design of the Dead presentation soon. Yeah, I'm still not expecting a 12-hour dev presentation like H1Z1, but I am looking forward to a behind the scenes to see how they do things and what some of their plans are. I think to keep excitement for this game going, they need to do a lot more kind of developer diary type of things to keep us in the loop. Or maybe they don't because they know that really all they've been working on is trees. I know they're working on other stuff, but like I said, what they've been sharing is trees. Go ahead, share some other stuff. I mean, they've shown a backpack and a couple things, but let's go ahead and really dive in there and let us know what it's like to work on the Dead Linger and show us how that's coming, because the fans, we're eating it up. We're eating it up, and that's that lack of stuff, lack of sharing that gets us, really speculating and wondering, what's the next thing. So anyway, that was a good Reddit. I'm going to go ahead and cut that off there because I've rambled on pretty good. That was a great Reddit post that gave me a lot of stuff to think about and really tangent off onto other points of discussion. So I'll definitely be coming back and checking out some other stuff here on the Reddit. Definitely come and check it out yourself. Leave some thoughts and comments, because the team, they do read that, and so if you come up with ideas and post it and whatnot, it's just a great way to continue that discussion and that enthusiasm for the game going. All right, well anyway, thank you for hanging out. Leave some thoughts, what you have about some things maybe you've read on Reddit. Maybe if you've posted some thoughts on Reddit, and let me know so I can come look them up, and next time we talk about the Road to the Apocalypse here, I can share your thoughts that you've had. Anyway, have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.